that time. Up in the top right, you can see 1.1 million from that income stream overall. Here's another one. This is a simple campaign that we ran in the health and wellness niche. This is over 400 commission checks that came in the mail in a short 45-day period, and that totaled out to over $140,000 in revenue. Now, because I show you that, I also have to let you know that my results are not typical. You know, I made a decision sitting in that hallway that night, going shopping for my girlfriend's birthday gift in a cardboard box, that I was not going to be typical anymore. Okay? So I'm not going to insult your intelligence. We've already kind of briefly talked about this, so I won't beat a dead horse, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You know, like, I'm pretty sure that you're intelligent enough to know that just because I'm getting a certain result doesn't mean that you're going to get it, because your results are going to depend on your ability to implement what it is that we're teaching tonight. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, with that said, just take a moment here. Do this quick little exercise for me, with me. Imagine what your life is going to look like when you have 30 hours of your life back every week. What is it going to look like when you're making as much or more money than you're making now, but you're doing it working just 10 to 15 hours a week? What if money is no obstacle for you? What would you do? Would you take the kids out of school and homeschool them? Would you take a vacation that you've been wanting to take for a long time but been kind of pushing off until the quote-unquote right time? Who would you spend your free time with? In the middle of the day on a weekday, who would you go to lunch with? Who would you want to be with you? By your side. Think about these things, because this is absolutely what's possible for you when you take action on what we're going to be going over tonight. So here's the 3 secrets that we're going to be discussing. Okay? Secret number 1, how to earn an income from anywhere in the world that you desire. Literally, the ability to earn money while you sleep. So how to create an income from anywhere in the world as long as you have a laptop and internet connection, and how to have that income consistently flowing to you, whether you're eating, sleeping, on vacation, you know, even while you sleep. Cool stuff. Secret number 2, how to earn more in just 10 to 15 hours per week than most people make working 40 to 60 hours a week. And I know that sounds crazy to some people. However, it's absolutely true. I'm going to show you proof of that as we go through this. And I'll give you a hint. It has a lot to do with leverage. Secret number 3, I'm going to show you how to grow your income 800% with a few simple tweaks that literally anyone can learn to do. And you just wait till you see how easy this really is. All right. Secret number 4, the bonus secret, really, how to scientifically engineer and literally predict whatever income it is that you desire using a simple math formula that a 5th grader can solve. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you want to make $2,000 a month, $20,000 a month, or more. This math formula will solve it for you, and we use it, and I'm going to show you how to use it here as we go through tonight's content. So, last slide before we get into it. One of my favorite quotes of all time. In a world of change, the learners shall inherit the earth, while the learned shall find themselves perfectly suited for a world that no longer exists. It's by Eric Hoffer. I want you to think about this for a moment, because it's very relevant to what we're talking about tonight. Mm-hmm. Do you realize that right now there are scientists who are able to print human organs using a 3D printer right now? Literally, most people don't even know that these experiments exist, right? But they're taking stem cells and printing human organs with them. In other words, not too long from now, organ transplants are going to be a thing of the past. Right now, we have cars that drive themselves. Cars that drive themselves. The only reason they're not on the road everywhere is because the federal government doesn't know what laws that they need to abide by. Right? Uber has them, Tesla has them, Google has them. That means that not too long down the road, it's not a far-fetched idea that somewhere down the road, all of the trucking industry is going to be revolutionized by the fact that there are trucks that drive themselves across the country and can navigate. It's not too hard to... Uber right now has self-driving cars, and they are testing them in certain cities where they're allowing it. In other words, how is that going to impact the taxi industry? Okay? There are some very significant things taking place in the world that you need to start thinking about. if you haven't thought about them, because this world is about to change in some very dramatic ways. I was just reading an article from Peter Diamandis, who's one of the brilliant minds that was originally behind Google. He did a study of human evolution between the year 1800 and 2000, and then wrote about it. And in 2015, he said, I believe that in between 2015 and 2030, 15 years, in that 15-year period, we're going to see the next 200 years of human evolution because technology is rapidly advancing. Mm-hmm. Things are changing. My question to you is very simple. Are you going to ride that wave, or are you going to be swallowed up in it? There's a ton of people who are going to be swallowed up in that. Mm-hmm. They're going about their day thinking that cushy job's going to be there forever, and one day it's not. Mm-hmm. And if the 2008 financial collapse didn't wake them up to that, then this surely will. And then my next question is simply, would you agree that the internet is here to stay? Because ultimately that's what we're talking about tonight. And the reason that might sound like a dumb question, but when my grandfather was loaning my mom the money to buy us our first computer back when I was in high school, I remember him coming over to the house and saying, like, you kids these days and this internet thing, I bet it's just some fad that's going to wear out. That is, hey, Grandpa, it's still here, right? So if you agree that the internet is here to stay, type 1 in the chat right now. All right, just type 1 in the chat. Now, let's go ahead and get started on tonight's content, okay? Essentially, there's just 3 things that we need in order to get started, all right? Number 1, we need an audience. Basically, we need a group of people that have a particular problem that they want solved, or they have a desire that they want fulfilled. Secondly, we need an offer. We need something that either solves that problem or fulfills that desire that we can promote to that audience that we identified. And third, there's copy. Copy is all of the written and spoken word that is utilized to convert that audience into an actual paying customer of that offer. All right. Now, for all intents and purposes, we're just not going to have the time to talk about copy tonight. But we are going to talk a lot about audiences and offers, and you're going to have a pretty solid understanding of it here as we go through the next several slides. All right. So moving on, how do we do it? Well, first, like I said, we identify an audience. So let's say that kind of egg-like looking symbol on your screen, that circle, identifies an audience, a group of people who have a problem or desire. And then secondly, we've identified an offer, okay, something that's going to solve the problem or fulfill the desire. Mm-hmm. Well, one way that we can, one way that we can do this, just a little bit of tech issues here. Okay, one way that we can do this is we could.
My throat.
Okay, sorry, guys, the button's not working. Give me a moment. All right.
Time.
So obviously, the next question you guys are likely to ask is, all right, how do we find an audience? Okay, let me just show you. Okay, here's a slide. This is from Google Keyword Planner, which, by the way, if you have a Google account, you have this tool for free. There at the top, I typed in weight loss. What this does is it shows me how many people every month are typing in a related search phrase, right? So right here it tells me about 1 million and 10 million people a month are looking for something related to weight loss. Down here it starts to break it down a little bit more clearly. It says how to lose weight, 100,000 to 1 million monthly searches. Ooh. How to lose weight fast, 100,000 to 1 million monthly searches. And on and on and on the list goes. In other words, millions of people a month, just using this simple tool, millions of people a month are looking for something related to weight loss. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we could type anything in there. We could type in, sleep, right? Like people who are looking for better sleep at night, or how to improve their jump shot.
That beep is somebody just purchasing the $99 101 training masterclass.
This is taken directly
just
from
to get started.
Facebook Ads Manager, which, by the way, if you have a Facebook account, you by default have a Facebook Ads Manager. You probably just don't know it. Here's an audience that I found in there. You can see it right here on the. Actually, let me just zoom it in for you. Here, we've identified an audience in Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, New Zealand, United States, which, by the way, take a note of that. That is your 5 top countries, your 5 top English-speaking countries. So in the world of freelance digital marketing, we call this Tier 1.
Tier 1?
Tier 1 traffic. If you don't know what traffic is, don't worry about it. I'll talk to you about that in just a moment. Now, we've identified, women, females between the ages of 21 and 35 who speak English, who are interested in all these things related to weight loss. And look, it tells us right down there at the bottom, potential reach, 39 million people.
Wow.
So we know that there's 39 million people who fit all of this criteria, and there's literally 100 times more than that who we could continue to search for. Right? This doesn't include women who are over 35 or men who want to lose weight. And let it sink in, the amount of possibilities here. Now, that tells us there's an audience. Now, where do we go to find an offer? Well, here's a slide from a website called ClickBank, and there's lots of websites like this. There's Max Bounty, New Cash Network. These are called affiliate networks. Just go to Google and type in affiliate network, and you'll find lists of affiliate networks where you can find an offer to promote. Okay, which is essentially a place that companies who have a product or service that they want to sell, they list it on these websites so that freelance digital marketers like ourselves can find it, and then we get paid a commission to help them sell it. Right here on that page, you can see health and fitness. So say I wanted to run an ad to that audience we just talked about. This is where I would go and find a product that would help solve a problem for that audience. So again, how do we do it? Well, we identify an audience, we identify an offer. Now, one way that we could do this is just to put that offer directly in front of that audience. Let me give you an example of what that means. Very recently, I was on Facebook scrolling through my newsfeed, saw this video on there about this incredibly awesome office chair, which I know to some of you that's going to sound boring as hell. But for me,
I need one.
I have a home office. I was like, oh my God, this chair is off the hook, right? So I'm watching this short video, and it fully reclines. You can mount several monitors to it. I mean, it's just total badass technology, okay?
Whoa.
And
really?
I'm watching a 2-minute little hype video about it, and I was like, oh, I totally want this thing. So then the only option that I had was to click to that company's website. And then all they had there was some information about the company, some information about the chair, and I could pre-order the chair. Now the chair was $4,000. Now don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to end up buying it, but that's besides the point. The point is that I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, well, the only thing that I can do here is order it. I'm not going to make that decision right now. That's not why I logged into Facebook. So of course I didn't buy it right there on the spot. And that's the inherent problem with putting an offer directly in front of an audience, because most people do not buy right now. Instead, they want a little bit more information before they make that buying decision right now. So here's what we do. Okay, we identify an audience, we identify an offer. Then what we do is we reverse engineer from that offer. We create what's called a squeeze page, and we put that between the audience and the offer. Okay, now what's a squeeze page? A squeeze page is a very, very simple website. All right, where we make a big, bold, audacious claim in a headline, and then we ask the visitor to that website to exchange with us their contact information in exchange for more information about whatever the offer is that we're promoting. So let's stick for the rest of tonight. Let's stick with the example of a weight loss offer. Okay, let's say that this is an ebook that we're going to sell that's full of recipes that'll help you lose weight, and let's say it's a $27 ebook. Okay, and on the page where they can order it, there's maybe a 15-20 minute video that's going to explain the value of the recipes, give them some hints as to what they're going to learn inside the ebook, and then they can click a little order button below that video and they can buy. Well, if that's the case, then what we might put on the squeeze page is, free video reveals how to instantly lose 10 pounds over the next 10 days without starving yourself or ever breaking a sweat. Enter your email below for instant access. Right? Do you think that somebody who really, really wants to lose weight right at that moment is going to be like, okay, show me the video. Here's my email. Send me the information. Yes, they will. Okay? Mm-hmm. So then we take that. Now the squeeze page is pre-framing the offer. So it's kind of setting them up for the offer, right? Now, what we do is we take that squeeze page and we reverse engineer one more time, and we generate an ad. Now notice that ad is what's sitting inside the offer. This is what pre-frames the squeeze page. Are you getting a lot of questions or something?
No, I don't really want to ask a question. I'm just telling you you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So if you have questions, save them for the end, because most of the questions we're going to answer at the end of tonight's content. And if you're on here, you might also see we're not going to be able to get to all the questions. That's just kind of the way that this works. All right. So you may see a questions box. If you submit a question in the questions box, it'll be emailed to us, and we'll reply back to you as soon as we possibly can. Okay. So.
Okay.
Reverse engineer again. We create an ad. Notice that the ad is the only thing that sits inside of this audience. So let me give you an example of what I mean here. What do you see here?
You.
Give me some comments here in the chat. What do you see on your screen right now?